The crazy news that they don't want to tell you. This is Coincidental Chaos, and today I'm coming to you with some quick facts. Let's read a book. I'm back with our discussion of Unsettling Truths. This week we're going to talk about the myths surrounding Abraham Lincoln.
The United States of America does not teach a history, we teach a mythology. To demonstrate that, to understand this, I want to talk to you briefly about Abraham Lincoln. This whole breaking down of the mythology of Abraham Lincoln.
In deconstructing the historical narrative surrounding Abraham Lincoln, we begin with the construction of the Lincoln Memorial. The 36 columns that surround it represent the 36 states that were a part of the Union at the time Lincoln was assassinated. Clearly, the expansion of the American Empire was well underway.
Lincoln Memorial, where there's a small museum, and on each wall, this is at the base of the memorial. Most people don't go in there, it's by the bathroom. Most people don't even know it's there. But it's a small museum the size of a classroom. And on one plaque, this one is in the middle, and it says, "I would save the Union." My paramount objective in the struggle, he said, is to save the Union. It is not to save or destroy slavery. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. If I could save by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that.
The unsettling truth about Abraham Lincoln is that this former president, mostly known for freeing the slaves, did not care about freeing the slaves. His main objective was to preserve the Union, meaning the three branches of government established within the Constitution.
There's a plaque hanging at the Lincoln Memorial that literally states, according to Abraham Lincoln, Black lives don't matter. I will say in addition to this that there is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of political and social equality. And in this so much as they cannot so live while they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. I read that. I just stared at the screen. I was so unbelievably angry, not only angry that Abraham Lincoln didn't give a crap about Black lives, but angry that I had been fed a mythology, a myth, a lie, and that I had believed it, that Abraham Lincoln cared. I had no clue Abraham Lincoln was such a blatant white supremacist. The whole mythology of America is that Abraham Lincoln believed in the equality of the races, that he was abolishing slavery because he cared about Black lives. And that one quote just blew that whole narrative, that whole mythology out of the water.
Now, this distorted perception of equality is still symbolically represented throughout society in various ways today. Most people see other people as human, but the government has always considered the population as human capital. The maker of this meme noticed that 3 of our coins face one way, while one faces another. I noticed that there are 3 silver and 1 copper. A penny is symbolic of an individual. The phrase "a penny for your thoughts" represents belief systems or ideologies. A nickel is symbolic of the family unit. A nickel for your kiss represents relationships. A dime is symbolic of community. A dime for your time refers to how we work and play and pursue our happiness. And finally, a quarter is symbolic to our country. A quarter for the border. This represents where we live and how we live.
Lincoln provided the tools that allowed the establishment of mass incarceration as normative in our society today.
Lincoln's 13th Amendment did not actually end slavery. What it did was develop a profitable system of mass incarceration, or, in professional terms, it allowed the government to reallocate its asset of human capital.
We don't teach a history, we teach a mythology. The mythology says discovery, the history says dehumanization. The mythology says equality, the history says for a select few. The mythology says expansion, the history says ethnic cleansing. The mythology says exceptionalism, the history says genocide. The mythology says liberty and justice for all, and the history says liberty and justice for white landowning men. The mythology says Christian nation, the history says we are the next version of Christendom. And the whole point of this, of all the history, of all these quotes, this is deep proof about how our nation absolutely does not understand its history. Because the quotes which are published on the National Park Service's website, for anyone, I mean, finding these quotes was not hard by any stretch of the imagination.
It's hidden, as it was written, in plain sight.
And yet nobody knows they're there.
Isn't it time society makes a change? I think we've built up enough interest to spare it. We'd only be saving ourselves. It's an investment into our individuality before all authenticity is assimilated into American, whatever that means. Are you ready to open your eyes? Like and share this video for your chance to win a copy of Unsettling Truths, autographed by Mark Charles. Be sure to hit that follow button. All winners will be contacted via message. Well, I guess that cat's out of the bag. Follow me for more quick facts with Coincidental Chaos.